I remember Harutun Torshian, perished in the Armenian Genocide. I remember Chaim Ringer, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 59. I remember Behla Machlis, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 34. I remember Manar Mohammed Rabia, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2012. I remember Idris Avdullahu, perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 26. I remember Rutaganabwa Narcisse, perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Jose Luis Hazan, perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Hovhannes Tartsegian, perished in the Armenian Genocide. I remember Anas Mahed al-Shama, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Ahmad Fatah, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Busag Sarkisian, perished in the Armenian Genocide. I remember Mikhail Fish, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 32. I remember Sarah Weiss, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 39. I remember Chva Schwartz, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 27. I remember Yankov Yaspa, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 5. I remember Alberto Federico de France, perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Omar Sello, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2014. I remember Hassan Abdulrahman al-Saun, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Isaac Goldfeld, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 29. I remember Veli Topali, perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 49. I remember Shepsel Sapiro, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 41. I remember Avdik Adem, perished in the Bosnian Genocide at the age of 68. I remember Mukasinayobia Petronilla, perished in the Rwandan Genocide at the age of 43. I remember Begnovik Munib, perished in the Bosnian Genocide at the age of 39. I remember Abraham Goldberg, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 14. I remember Kudzik Abbas, perished in the Bosnian Genocide at the age of 35. I remember Azaria Gopelman, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 6. I remember Santoro di Conzilio, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 8. I remember Burik Omer, perished in the Bosnian Genocide at the age of 57. I remember Fayez al-Fayyad, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2011. I remembered Ahmad Abdeljahil al-Furi, perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Ibisevic Osman, perished in the Bosnian Genocide at the age of 36. I remember Miguel Angel Pintos, perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Nina Kaiman, perished in the Holocaust. I remember Brahim Krasniki, perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 63.
Hi, I'm Annie Hirsch, and I read because I want to honor the victims of a mass shooting that happened 10 minutes from where I'm recording this video right now. Joyce Feinberg, Richard Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil and David Rosenthal, Bernice and Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, Irving Younger. Tree of Life shooting, October 27th, 2018. Husik Suljo, Bosnian genocide. Becca Halit, Kosovo War. Abraham Zigun, Holocaust. Mustafa Karmo, Syrian Civil War. Che Hassan, Cambodian genocide. Haja Goldstein, Holocaust. Delik Selim, Bosnian genocide. Sinan Hoti, Kosovo War. Sedkomo Bu Daise, Rwandan genocide. Mahoro Goret, Rwandan genocide. Abd al-Rahman Isa al-Ghazali, Syrian Civil War. Mohammed al-Maghribi, Syrian Civil War. Mukakamanzi Jean, Rwandan genocide. Rila Klanplak, Holocaust. Dusan Bojikovic, Kosovo War. Ayad al-Laji, Syrian Civil War. Isaac Shimiz, Holocaust. Barenzi, Rwandan genocide. Mohamed Kabashi, Kosovo War. Horacio Daniel Margelli, Argentine Dirty War. Qutaiba Abdul Hadi Murjana, Syrian Civil War. Agim Gashi, Kosovo War. Papiti Obwang Abdallah, South Sudan Civil War. Kwan Ye Tap, South Sudan Civil War. Isidore Reichman Storfer, Holocaust. Jerzy Mietkowitz, Holocaust. Lucien Finkelstein, Holocaust. Herz Schwarzberg, Holocaust. Frania Poznansky, Holocaust. Nebojsa Sabrulovic, Kosovo War. Asya Strengas, Holocaust. Shaban Zakiri, Kosovo War. Hector Carlos Hikena, Argentine Dirty War. Florim Krasniki, Kosovo War. Mesanovic Huso, Bosnian genocide. Ismail Aldan al-Mashek al-Jabwai, Syrian Civil War. Nkuyi Francois, Rwandan genocide. Mukan Kusi Petit, Rwandan genocide. Mushi Miyamana, Rwandan genocide. Moritz Rudveld, Holocaust. Ali al-Jaref, Syrian Civil War. Gasagure Jean-Paul, Rwandan genocide. Ibrik Edin, Bosnian genocide. Vardej Seren Kulyan, Armenian genocide. Luai Imad Haj Ramun, Syrian Civil War. Kim Sita, Cambodian genocide. Rudaganda J. Bosco, Rwanda genocide. Ahmedovic Ibrahim, Bosnian genocide. Vandushe Nusi, Kosovo War. Wabasira Eraviste, Rwandan genocide. Samir Talal Hashmeh, Syrian civil war.
I remember Nazim Saivlufu, Kosovo. I remember Ahmad Sarar, the Syrian civil war. I remember Baid Khalif Khalid al-Khilo al-Khileh from the Syrian civil war. I remember Ali al-Salih from the Syrian civil war. I remember Kalisa Potoshne, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Ahmed Ramadan al-Ali al-Muhammad from the Syrian civil war. I remember Hiramovec Civiko from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Nairzami Anosiata from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mohammed al-Said from the Syrian civil war. I remember Mohammed Jassim Darwish from the Syrian civil war. I remember Henia Parzinad from the Holocaust. I remember Yos Samith from the Cambodian genocide. I remember Yeznych Kevorkian from the Armenian genocide. I remember Juan Jorge Wajet from the Argentinian Dirty War. I remember Sakami Denise from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Radan Vernach from the Kosovo War. I remember Katja Sternberg from the Holocaust. I remember Leonia Bolotnier from the Holocaust. I remember Uzamukondia Gizel from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Rachel Lewin from the Holocaust. I remember Mukagazana Venesiade from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mahmoud Khair Omar from the Syrian civil war. I remember Guillermo Leonardo Paris Layara from the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Ignacian Porcius from the Holocaust. I remember Marat Diliu from the Kosovo War. I remember Lieutenant Colonel Hai from the Bangladesh genocide. I remember Moske Vaj Chebian from the Armenian genocide. I remember Natagungira from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Zusia Mozezon from the Holocaust. I remember Obel Besiar from the Syrian civil war. I remember Hadzik Mohol from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Graciela Eugenia Bernays from the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Wolf Fitzman from the Holocaust. I remember Oyaf Naiwalo Kwathker from the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Kati Gluck from the Holocaust. I remember Kanyondo Emmanuel from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Abraham Azaria from the Holocaust. I remember Minna Dernjani from the Kosovo War. I remember Gudusa Andre from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Neria Habimana Kathleen from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Shmuel Brivabok from the Holocaust. I remember Yasir Mohammed Orabai from the Syrian civil war. I remember Abakar Isa from the Darfur genocide. I remember Nun Haviach Rasim from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Arif Shahiti from the Kosovo War. I remember Shari Arai Mobiar from the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Safwan al-Marsi from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Samuel Brand from the Holocaust. I remember Nazim Saivlufu, Kosovo. I remember Ahmad Sarar, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Baid Khalif Khalid al-Khilo al-Khileh from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Ali al-Salih from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Kalisa Potoshnik, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Ahmed Ramadan al-Ali al-Muhammad from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Hiramovec Civiko from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Nairzami Anosiata from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mohammed al-Said from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Mohammed Jassim Darwish from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Henia Parzinad from the Holocaust. I remember Yos Samith from the Cambodian genocide. I remember Yeznych Kevorkian from the Armenian genocide. I remember Juan Jorge Bajet from the Argentinian Dirty War. I remember Sakami Denise from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Radan Vernach from the Kosovo War. I remember Katja Sternberg from the Holocaust. I remember Leonia Bolotniar from the Holocaust. I remember Uzamukondia Gizel from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Rachel Lewin from the Holocaust. I remember Mukagazana Venesiad from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mahmoud Khalir Omar from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Guillermo Leonardo Paris Layara from the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Ignacian Porcius from the Holocaust. I remember Marat Diliu from the Kosovo War. I remember Lieutenant Colonel Hai from the Bangladesh genocide. I remember Moske Vaj Chebian from the Armenian genocide. I remember Natagungira from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Zusia Mozezon from the Holocaust. I remember Obel Besyar from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Hadzik Mohol from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Graciela Eugenia Bernays from the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Wolf Fitzman from the Holocaust. I remember Oyaf Naiwalo Kwathker from the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Kati Gluck from the Holocaust. I remember Kanyondo Emmanuel from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Abraham Azaria from the Holocaust. I remember Mina Dernjani from the Kosovo War. I remember Gudusa Andre from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Neria Habimana Kathleen from the Rwandan genocide. I remember Shmuel Fribeboch from the Holocaust. I remember Yassir Mohammed Orabai from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Abakar Isa from the Darfur genocide. I remember Nun Haviach Rasim from the Bosnian genocide. I remember Arif Shahiti from the Kosovo War. I remember Shari Arai Mobiar from the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Safwan al-Marsi from the Syrian Civil War. I remember Samuel Brand from the Holocaust. I remember Ludwig Blech, who perished in the Holocaust. I remember Ajim Selmanjani, who perished in the Kosovo War. I remember Mukokasana Fluoride, who perished in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Ricardo Alfredo Nicotera, who died in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Hoi Solfa, who died in the Cambodian genocide. I remember Chodzik Malagala, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Suljic Bajo, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Zilzic Zurira, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Kantengwa, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Abd al-Khaif Hossan, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Zafar Sinani, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Basil, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Ramiz Karznicki, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Adimovich Sado, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Rifat Bojoku, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Gassibal Oklet, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Bernard Olbenbleit, who died in the Holocaust. I remember Stefan Lachan-Yanin, who died in the Armenian genocide. I remember Muewa, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Abin Sarakini, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Marijungumba Leopard, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Kejamachi Alice, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Miklos Schwarz, who died in the Holocaust. I remember Laith Mohammed Ahmed al-Baidi, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Diovovech Ibrahim, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Col Dut Bleu, who died in the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Tab Kovich Nebzib, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Wissam Yassin Atwan al-Masri, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Yahya Barakat, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Moshe Furek Mukho, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Gabriel Mals, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Sahag Azad Farhad Zoram, who died in the Armenian genocide. I remember Azam Galvan, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Kurt Gutman, who died in the Holocaust. I remember Abraham Slap, who died in the Holocaust. I remember Ahmed Fod Makais, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Ahmad al-Isa, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Mehmet Abdi, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Osama, who perished in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Mohammed Ammar al-Sid, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Salhovech Musan, who died in the Bosnian genocide. I remember Machiam Kondor, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Ali Mehmetit, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Lex Hippie, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Yusuf Mohammed Gaith, who died in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Nala Betsit Akhili, who died in the Rwandan genocide. I remember Yufela Raspaza, who died in the Holocaust. I remember Kushtim Ismail, who died in the Kosovo War. I remember Luis Ernesto Bustamante, who died in the Argentinian Civil War. I remember Sahir Mohammed al-Nasian, who perished in the Syrian Civil War.
My name is Jeremy Arkin. I remember Tamam Meteb al-Husani al-Turkawi, perished in the Syrian Civil War. I remember Frade Leitman in the Holocaust. I remember Sejminovic Alija, Bosnian genocide. I remember Bagjacic Sabin, Bosnian genocide. I remember Muhammad Aid Abd al-Karim Alu, Syrian Civil War. I remember George Raid Iskandinavi, Syrian Civil War. I remember Hajjar Kuchi, Kosovo War. I remember Besim Sahiti, Kosovo War. I remember Hurimonovic Yusuf, Bosnian genocide. I remember Mekamana Ananosia, Rwanda genocide. I remember Suli Rothschild, Holocaust. I remember Yusuf Abdulaziz Talha, Syrian Civil War. I remember Mujic Ilvir, Bosnian genocide. I remember Bukyana Jean Paul, Rwandan genocide. I remember Selimovic Selim, Bosnian genocide. I remember Margaret Goldstein, Holocaust. I remember Majic Hassan, Bosnian genocide. I remember Anwar Mandu al-Asri, Syrian Civil War. I remember Fawd Qassam Muhammad Khamis al-Hariri, Syrian Civil War. I remember Kwi Rakowski, Holocaust. I remember Zesul Sagakyu, Holocaust. I remember Sarah Neufeld, Holocaust. I remember Omar Jose Miguens, Argentine Dirty War. I remember Omar Ramdam al-Haji, Syrian Civil War. I remember Usama Abdul Rahman al-Jam, Syrian Civil War. I remember Salkich Hasid, Bosnian genocide. I remember Mariano Mirlu, Holocaust. I remember Saad Muhammad al-Mayser, Syrian Civil War. I remember Krikor Hekimian, Armenian genocide. I remember Spoedich Hajruddin, Bosnian genocide. I remember Abu Basel Hafaya, Syrian Civil War. I remember Manuk Akwat Garang, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Jorge Alejandro Segarra, Argentinian Dirty War. I remember Ida Chanovich, Holocaust. I remember Abdul Kafi Jumaa, Syrian Civil War. I remember Wakana Bosco, Rwandan genocide. I remember Noor Mohammed Hussein, Syrian Civil War. I remember Salihovic Asim, Bosnian genocide. I remember Anyef Makeh Mak, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Oxendios Khachaturian, Armenian genocide. I remember Ahmad Soleiman al-Baredi, Syrian civil war. I remember Zeniji Silaj, Kosovo war. I remember Senkomo Bodiace, Rwandan genocide. I remember Wakario Yves, Rwandan genocide. I remember Issam Tawfiq al-Said, Syrian civil war. I remember Kamil Sobjani, Kosovo war. I remember Yuso Maktinger, Holocaust. I remember Mudovic Aljo, Bosnian genocide.
I remember Pedro Suarez perished in the East Timor genocide at the age of 19. I remember Luis Alberto Tiadi perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Todorovic Petar perished in the Kosovo War. I remember Ismirovic Ismir perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 52. I remember Gian Akar perished in the Holocaust at the age of 3. I remember Issa Kerdi perished in the Syrian civil war in 2014. I remember Maï Jean-Baptiste perished in the Rwandan genocide at the age of 49. I remember Fariz Mohammed Harks perished in the Syrian civil war in 2013. I remember Talush Koshi perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 57. I remember Halal Ibrahim Muteib perished in the Syrian civil war in 2012. I remember Kangabe Simoni perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Ibrahimov Azmir perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 20. I remember Ejubovic Ejub perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 19. I remember Ashiek Kongang perished in the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Adimovic Abdurrahman perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 62. I remember son of Muhammad al-Hassan al-Khatini perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2014. I remember Laura Slang perished in the Holocaust at the age of 51. I remember Masoud al-Hashem perished in the Civil War in 2012. I remember Shaika Salim perished in the Rwandan genocide at the age of 28. I remember Mordecai Yorovich perished in the Holocaust at the age of 2. I remember Mad Abd Nalahid al-Turk perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Sheikh Rakaj perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 40. I remember Pinchas Silman perished in the Holocaust. I remember the wife of Idris Abdullah Adris perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2014. I remember Philip Pepper in the Holocaust at the age of 65. I remember Mehik Zyorjit perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 24. I remember Avedis Bandurian perished in the Armenian genocide. I remember Daour Mohammed al-Hadi perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. I remember Mukarukoka Odette perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Cesar Herrera perished in the Holocaust at the age of 9. I remember Makul Hong Makol perished in the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Arif Seneli perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 51. I remember Hasanovic Kreso perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 21. I remember Ala Zakaria Rostam perished in the Civil War in 2012. I remember Fidan Brahimish perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 17. I remember Skender Morina perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 45. I remember Ina Vaganets perished at the age of 7. I remember Rania Simiatic perished in the Holocaust at the age of 4. I remember Haderovic Alija perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 56. I remember Hassan Morina perished in the Kosovo War at age 49. I remember Josef Weigel perished in the Holocaust at age of 22. I remember Lak Heath perished in the Cambodian genocide. I remember Omarovic Khusrev perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 18. I remember Amorim Rego perished in the East Timor genocide at the age of 22. I remember Nam Noth perished in the Cambodian genocide. I remember Hadar Arsani perished in the Kosovo War at age 29. I remember Nazem Kosha perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Sustik Hamid perished in the Bosnian genocide at 1995. I remember Isaac Angel perished in the Holocaust at age of 64. I remember Joachim Hershkovitz perished in the Holocaust at age 69. I remember Ivod perished in the Rwandan genocide at age of 4. I remember Muhik Suleiman perished in the Bosnian genocide at age of 55. I remember Kayori Hamini perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Remziji Kanasi perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 62. I remember Bedri Leku perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 39. I remember Halilovic Mevludin perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 33. I remember Mujik Mehmedia perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 33. I remember Ricardo Jose Machado perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Jacob Lowe perished in the Holocaust at age of 52. I remember Hannah Vider perished in the Holocaust at the age of 40. I remember Naramin Hawad Abbas perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2013. I remember Husenovic Azem perished in the Bosnian genocide at age of 43. I remember Muhammad Ahmad al-Khakhir perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2014. I remember Riki Meek perished in the Holocaust at the age of 52. I remember Bulyayith Agoth perished in the South Sudan Civil War. I remember Khalil Siedo perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2015. I remember Boro Gomnitz perished in the Holocaust at the age of 7. I remember Thekla Herxheimer perished in the Holocaust at the age of 75. I remember Macaulay Ali, perished in the Kosovo War. I remember Hafizovic Sened, perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 58. I remember Jihad Mustafa al-Khatib, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2014. I remember Luis Ismael Silva, perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Ahmad al-Sabah, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2013. I remember Zizmond Bukovici, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 23. I remember Kuzam Mustafa al-Haji, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2013.
My name is Aviv. I work at Jewish Life at Duke, and I read so that we may not repeat history. I remember Mayak Mayan, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Halilovic Salih, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Edward Yakubowicz, Holocaust. I remember Fatima Ali al-Mustafa, Syrian Civil War. I remember Ilir Loka, Kosovo War. I remember Samir Jamal al-Swadani, Syrian Civil War. I remember Alamik Salim, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Makui Gathlak Meat, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Ajete Kurtaj, Kosovo War. I remember Bejik Jevad, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Halilaj Din, Kosovo War. I remember Arshag Teotunijan, Armenian Genocide. I remember Maman Charlotte, Rwandan Genocide. I remember Rintomaj Claudine, Rwandan Genocide. I remember Basim Berisha, Kosovo War. I remember Milikovic Sedomirka, Kosovo War. I remember Menachem Berkovitz, Holocaust, age 7. I remember Mustafik Musan, Bosnian Genocide. I remember William Young, Holocaust, age 37. I remember Alicia Marina Mingorance, the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Kabanayana, Rwandan Genocide, 1984. I remember Ahmad Mohammed Basufi, Syrian Civil War, 2014. I remember Mujik Sanad, Bosnian Genocide, age 21. I remember Mahmoud Attar, Syrian Civil War, 2013. I remember Ali Assad Debil, Syrian Civil War, 2012. I remember Nkusi Martin, Rwandan Genocide, 1994. I remember Lajos Liblik, Holocaust, age 58. I remember Abid al-Hamad al-Hamoud, Syrian Civil War, 2012. I remember Josiah Hasid, Holocaust, age 64. I remember Sabah Ahmad al-Ahmad, Syrian Civil War, 2011. I remember Mabat Aguto Jewel, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Itzhak Gelder, Holocaust, age 32. I remember Kavkusik Sabit, Bosnian Genocide, age 35. I remember Pok Chum, Cambodian Genocide. I remember Venanti, Rwandan Genocide, 1994. I remember Kharustik Nejbid, Bosnian genocide, age 49. I remember Edik Superfin, Holocaust, age 2. I remember Karakin Savayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Joel Steiner, Holocaust, age 17. I remember Karangwana Theoneste, Rwandan genocide, age 23. I remember Subasik Ohran, Bosnian genocide, age 57. I remember Matik Kantor Kwang, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Mustafa Altam Hari, Darfur genocide, 2003. I remember Abdullah Ahmad Rahmeh, Syrian Civil War, 2012. I remember Mel Savan, Cambodian genocide. I remember Mahmoud Khaled al-Suleiman, Syrian Civil War, 2012. I remember Chiel Bratnichweski, Holocaust, age 23.
My name is Ayobalogun, and I read because it's our duty to remember those who were lost in senseless acts of race hatred. I remember Amina Ishaq, Darfur genocide. I remember Ibrahim Adam Osman, Darfur genocide. I remember Abakar Barka Jonga, Darfur genocide. I remember Adam Sheikh Terab, Darfur genocide. I remember Yaqub Isa Harun, Darfur genocide. I remember Ibrahim Abdel Karim, Darfur genocide. I remember Musa Tu Allah, Darfur genocide. I remember Daoud Noor, Darfur genocide. I remember Issa Defala Adam, Darfur genocide. I remember Bakit Ahmad Jamar, Darfur genocide. I remember Yahya Adam, Darfur genocide. I remember Kabare Moene Romabari, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mbabara Moene Biniga, Rwandan genocide. I remember Wema Moene Rabionza, Rwandan genocide. I remember Niwemwana Alphonse, Rwandan genocide. I remember Rusagara Silas, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kanyudo Moene Sembwa, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kananura Calixte, Rwandan genocide. I remember Rabugabo, Rwandan genocide. I remember Niwemugore and Sile, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mukasibango Dafrose, Rwandan genocide. I remember Sekanyambo Leandre, Rwandan genocide. I remember Sekanyambo Francois, Rwandan genocide. I remember Muhire, Rwandan genocide. I remember Murego Glorious, Rwandan genocide. I remember Magwa Murego, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mercien, Rwandan genocide. I remember Karangwa Protes, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mukamuyango Monique, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mukantwari, Rwandan genocide. I remember Rangira Adrienne, Rwandan genocide. I remember Muberuka, Rwandan genocide. I remember Ndayambaje Thadi, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kandirima, Rwandan genocide. I remember Karekezi, Rwandan genocide. I remember Nzarubara, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kanamugire, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kanyadege, Rwandan genocide. I remember Muvuna Ndinda, Rwandan genocide. I remember Sembeba Pauline, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mukantaganda Josephine, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mushire Omele, Rwandan genocide. I remember Murindambiuma Vestade, Rwandan genocide. I remember Abdalhaman Sembemba, Rwandan genocide. I remember Fifi Fili Sembeba, Rwandan genocide. I remember Niruhinja Fili Sembemba, Rwandan genocide. I remember Urekeye Afanse, Rwandan genocide.
My name is Max Bartlett, and I was inspired to read because of Serge Tankian. I remember Grigor Aharonian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hovhannes Agemian, Armenian genocide. I remember Karapet Aidnan, Armenian genocide. I remember Mariam Adnian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hovhannes Antarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Tatavos Avakian, Armenian genocide. I remember Galust Betlehemian, Armenian genocide. I remember Gevorg Bilbulian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hovhannes Bilbulian, Armenian genocide. I remember Harutian Galpadjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Enshen Gapsamalian, Armenian genocide. I remember Girigos Gapsamalian, Armenian genocide. I remember Gevorg Gasayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Hovsep Narcissian, Armenian genocide. I remember Harutiun Bandurian, Armenian genocide. I remember Abetis Bandurian, Armenian genocide. I remember Bedros Kanzajian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hovhannes Kabadanjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Husig Kachuni, Armenian genocide. I remember Galust Bogosian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sukius Gaskarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Basil Thorosian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hamazasp Aramian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hagop Yailayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Voskan Dobalian, Armenian genocide. I remember Antranig Hayarabad, Armenian genocide. I remember Maritza Onegian, Armenian genocide. I remember Nerses Shabaglian, Armenian genocide. I remember Lucy Ivazian, Armenian genocide. I remember Takuhi Kardalian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkis Mavelian, Armenian genocide. I remember Nunya Mavelian, Armenian genocide. I remember Fedon Shokhayian, Armenian genocide. I remember Levon Hissarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Zaruhi Chekrekjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Nazaret Magarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Zaruhi Magarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Rahel Demerjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Raphael der Tomasian, Armenian genocide. I remember Avagian Khachador, Armenian genocide. I remember Avagian Hovsep, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkissian Khachador, Armenian genocide. I remember Alex Petrosian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkis Jingarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Bedros Tekian, Armenian genocide. I remember Krikor Dogarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Pilbos der Arvadzian, Armenian genocide. I remember Anahid Ongian, Armenian genocide. I remember Vardwi Gasparian, Armenian genocide. I remember Yakhisier Yelayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkis Sarkoshishian, Armenian genocide. I remember Markarid Ouanian, Armenian genocide. I remember Askahan Shalagangian, Armenian genocide. I remember Serma Shalalangian, Armenian genocide. I remember Avedis Shalalangian, Armenian genocide. I remember Vartan Demorgian, Armenian genocide. I remember Ahran Dermelkan, Armenian genocide. I remember Nazli Sarkoshian, Armenian genocide. I remember Feydan Shokian, Armenian genocide. I remember Krikor Shalalangian, Armenian genocide. I remember Manug Shokayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Garabed Varjabedian, Armenian genocide. I remember Boghos Asharjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Mana Ashajian, Armenian genocide. I remember Barkev Asharjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Dikran Asharjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Mariam Rubinian, Armenian genocide. I remember Silva Rubinian, Armenian genocide. I remember Armenog Hokhevian, Armenian genocide. I remember Martyros Merakorian, Armenian genocide. I remember Zagik Mardirosyan, Armenian genocide. I remember Ardrenik Tsarukian, Armenian genocide. I remember Namzor Kubanjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Harutyun Korbanjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Yarkeshe Bargamian, Armenian genocide. I remember Girar Bargamian, Armenian genocide. I remember Agavni Norigjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Kohar Jokajian, Armenian genocide. I remember Hagop Avadesian Shakayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Chaki Avadesian Shakayan, Armenian genocide. I remember Serap Dezarun Kazirian, Armenian genocide. I remember Arpana Kazirian, Armenian genocide. I remember Avedis Kabaklian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkis Negogoshian, Armenian genocide. I remember Aleksan Kayeshian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sahag Momjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Beatrice Momjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Garibed Momjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Armenog Momjian, Armenian genocide. I remember Joe Kahraman, Armenian genocide. I remember Zakheg Saradarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Ohan Ohanian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sapuhi Ohanian, Armenian genocide. I remember Sarkis Musetsi, Armenian genocide. I remember Beloyan Sargsyan, Armenian genocide. I remember Sumbat Sargisi, Armenian genocide. I remember Hrahnush Nalbadian Barbarian, Armenian genocide.